cross, you go to a hill bypass road. Government say there is a need for expand the road network. And as a result of that, we need for widen the road stem. And if we get for widen the road stem, we get for it into people and property. You know, as part of the project, you get for factor in one, engagement, two, compensation. And quite a few people they resist when they want to expand the road, but with proper and continuous engagement, they make the kind for realize, say, well, this is not just one person within a government, one can take my property, go put an for your personal use. This is not for we own all benefit. And we not get alternative to this present road. I mean, if government want to open up the road, they don't get for go learn to road others like Kaputa, they just have for use the existing road. But when it comes to the Black Johnson, I don't follow the debate quite strongly. You get a lot of people that will say, first of all, they don't do several studies. You get other areas that were uninhabited, meaning that people are not there. Population not there. Where an alternative to Black Johnson, where it will cause less environmental damage than una go do with Black Johnson, where it go affect people, but not many as it would be in Black Johnson. And I think the government's not for being recalcitrant in looking at the alternatives. You know, these are the things that are causing people to be very bitter in a country. I mean, Thomas More Conte talk about, you know, arbitrary arrest, the killing of people. But I believe as we get on with the program, we will touch on the issues that is so far.
Okay, so don't forget, say you can be part of this program. The number now 078-3302-99. Send reports. Send the injustice them way don't they happen to you. We will definitely read at the show. Make I bring you inside again, Mr. Kojo Mama. We're still there on the issue of Black Johnson. What do you feel say actually the reason for this?
Well, we get understanding from the Minister of Fisheries say they want to make fish harbor. And the land in question now 252 acres. Yeah, and these 252 acres, that's no problem. Black Johnson, na area where you know for tourist, na touristic area. Yeah. And one thing we want with the try for say, we're not against the project, but the problem is Black Johnson not to the appropriate place. One, you know, we get good depth for make aboyanda. We get proofs them. There was a time we decided to make fishing, then local fishing net for fishing day. The size or length when they use now Aberdeen, they make that same size they can on a Black Johnson for fishing. Enable fishing, that's what they cut and reduce them. Meaning the depth with the Black Johnson, not even the Aberdeen. Then one. Number two, to allow go there one day, go by York Island, a go land where the water be full. By the time the water is dry, then drift and come. It did not actually for 3 good months. Meaning, if you say you do aboyanda, you get to do a very serious dredging. If you dredge under, it affects from Kent right down to number 2. Because even right now, the small sand mine where they do like John Bay, they affect we small. So if we say we do that large scale of dredging there for make you get complete arbor for make you get vessel for candy, like where the minister tell me, the whole area there. So we lost the old touristic area, that's our problem. You understand? Okay. If we forget about pollutions, we lost standing. Then the next thing we'll take to consideration, we get information say they get for do other development than they for bring petrol, this and that all thing. But when you think about the size of land, 252 acres, then you think about the money involved, $55 million. And not go do for do anything and day. $55 million, small for do all the things they say for do. Then 252 acres, a boku for fish harbor. This is now the doubt what they doubt now. And we wonder why they not go talk to we.
Okay. So, Thomas Moore, some of them cases there, so people are held in remand or refused bail for more than a year without trial. Who that's for talk to? Who that for actually talk for them?
You see, there is a serious problem. There is a serious problem with the judicial system. We talk about judicial system, justice system. Therefore, deal with the police, the judiciary, and the prisons. And that is where we can always want for anchor with discussions that we talk about justice. Because these are the people who primarily charge with the responsibility of dispensing justice. But if they get small challenges or they prove to be very inconsistent in actually doing what they're supposed to do, then it will make the situation very worrisome for we. We get several cases of people that are currently languishing in prison for offenses where they're not even able to see the courtroom yet for able to get their own day in a court. We get some way, even though yes, they don't see their day in a court, way due for be granted bail, they are being consistently denied bail simply maybe because of political reasons. We are currently dealing with a matter that has to do with Mohamed Kamaringba Mansari. We all know that Mohamed Kamaringba Mansari has been one of the most vocal politicians in recent times in the country. We talk on the things, the way they happen in this country vigorously. Whilst we know they are against investigation for any alleged offense we don't commit, but we say there is need for Mohamed Kamaringba to be granted fair trial right. For continue for hold him in custody for over 1 year, it's over 1 year already, for an offense that he has not been found wanting of, is in itself not just. There is a maxim where say justice delayed is justice denied. Even for the one SSF where they try for seek justice, they're not really, an officer it is okay. We have several other cases of people that will still continue for languish in police cells or prisons simply because maybe they not get the upper hand for get to the justice system or because of other reasons where we know for talk about now. Yeah. So these are problems where they continue to undermine the justice system of the country. And when you look at the causes of the 11 years war, people will come on at Pademba Road, we became very disenchanted about waiting will happen in the country. Then they use the Sierra Leone police for undermine the rights of people. They kill people, seize people's property, deny people the right for actually enjoy freedom and peace, use the judiciary for actually legitimize then the actions and then they all and they culminate into something we get a disgruntled population of Sierra Leoneans where they're not able for beer again. What they didn't do was to take to the bush, because when you get a state wherein the people not trust the arbiters of the law, they not trust the security sector, you run into what they call infantile disorder, wherein people get the government for take the law into their hands. And that is what we experience. And when people came back, we see the atrocities where they cause. This country was set back 11 years. So when we get a platform here to talk on the issues there, so we say we get a moral duty for bring out the issues as they are, so that those people will really get the authority today for actually put corrective measures in place. We know that their actions or decisions are not going unnoticed. Okay. There is a growing distrust in the public domain for the judicial system and for the security sector. And there is need. These are the bedrock of the justice system we talk about. Okay. If then why also begin to become shaky, they will get a system, we get a country with volatile to anything. That's why they say Tumbu youth they don't grab, they don't go catch, they don't go hold some, they don't fire, they don't fetch policemen. They say disturbances in different areas because people don't trust again judicial system, they don't trust again the process. Okay. So according to some research where we do, we get about 4,478 inmates them nationwide. Now we prisons them, and 1,888 they on convictions, and 1,391 they in remand, 106 condemned, 1,027 on trial, and 29 deserve life imprisonment. Okay, so I want to bring you inside Adi Macaulay. Government don't they congratulate themselves because of the recent abolition of the death penalty.
And but the one them we been died during the incident now Makeni, Pademba Road, and also Lonsar. Them people then they of blessed memory then no been sentenced them, but then die anyway. But people we want for watch into the incident and the of killings at the country a bit. We want for let you go more small.
I don't know if you're correct for say there has been an abolition of the
Death penalty.
I find them very difficult for accept say we don't abolish the death penalty.
Okay.
Of course, we get a law at present. We don't pass, we wait for the presidential assent. Say anybody with a convict of any offense with the mandatory sentence, now death.
Death.
Now automatic commutation to life or 30 years in imprisonment. But we get when you inside constitutional law, you get what they say one parliament, not they bind another parliament. Which the law where you put today, not they bind another parliament tomorrow in the sense that say they don't ever change it. The next parliament can come and change that law day. So for me go properly describe the achievement. It's a landmark achievement. Now the first government is we get the previous government of Dr. Andes by Nkrumah, we give moratorium say we know they kill anybody. And I want to say extend me appreciation to President Nkrumah and President Bio, because now the two governments that they were in recent times we will not see carry out the lawful execution of citizens. You come to the President Kaba in governments, there were execution of people. You come to Momo, there were execution of people. You come to the BO stroke Strasser and NPRC administration, there were the execution of people. You come to the Shaka Stephen government, there were the execution of people. So now President Nkrumah and so far President Bio not execute anybody. The reason why I believe say the death penalty not abolish it, not just a moratorium, is because the Constitution we bind we all. Section 16 say nobody not the way they would deprive of a right except pursuant to the execution of a court order or a sentence of a court as a result of conviction in a criminal case. So the Constitution we get still recognize say you know go deprive anybody of a right except through the lawful execution of a court sentence. So now if tomorrow we get a government or still this government decide for bring a new offense where the punishment na death, then automatically they can execute anybody because the Constitution still recognizes them. So if you want for take the death penalty totally out of we psyche, out of we judicial system, you get for amend section 16 of the Constitution through a referendum, because section 108 subsection 3 say you no go alter, change, repeal or add anything to chapter 3 usai section 16D without going through a referendum. So that is the point. Coming back to within Thomas More Conte don't say, we don't see quite a lot of killings that don't take place. I mean, again, I believe Sierra Leoneans them, more so the leaders of this country, for take the Truth and Reconciliation Commission as a second Bible or Quran. We don't read your Bible or your Quran in the morning. The next thing we for do now for read the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report, because this is a report we highlight all the things that we don't happen. We now be the red flags. We lead to that senseless 11-year civil war who killed thousands of Sierra Leoneans here. And unfortunately, and I say so because we don't begin to see the same things that happen again. This is a red flag. It's a red flag. That look, the things that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission be say caused that senseless civil war, we don't begin to see them back home. So it's an opportunity for the society for step back and say, let's have that moment of self-reproach where we look at the way we dish out justice in the country. Take, for example, you talk about the number of people that were in a prison. You know, most of the offenses then, or things that we people they in a prison for, now poverty offenses, make you call them poverty offenses, in the sense that when Okada man commit a road traffic offense, they fine and this amount of money, we enable pay that amount of money, they bam, na padem by road. When of course, when somebody go commit minor offenses like pickpocketing, then catch them, bam, na padem by road. Some people, you not get alternative in life except for resort to crime. So what we should do as a society is, how can we step in for make sure say then people get hope in life, for make sure say then people see alternatives to crime. So instead of a good thief for get a living, there are ways where we go able for earn a living. And we can come through judicial reforms, through legislative reforms. Take, for example, the sentencing powers. Community sentences. Say, if you now, Okada man, way don't commit a road traffic offense, they fine you 200,000, you not pay, you're not able to pay that day. Well, a community sentence means that if you work for the community, then they make you sweep streets. Then they rent you to Freetown City Council. Say, let this man sweep streets for the next 2 to 3 weeks. The money way in the work for that street the way sweep, now they pay the fine way. It's an alternative. We get for fair way for lock up people, the less than we get a gung-ho approach in terms of locking up people. And we see that they refuse people and bail for offenses where not get any business for refuse the bail. The McKinney 7. After 1 year, they eventually grant the bail. The case not do it too. So if you can grant the bail today, why not don't grant the bail 1 year ago? These are the things that we have to do. So what are
the missing link? What are the actual missing link with all of them mishaps there at the judicial system?
Well, unfortunately, we get a situation where politics don't creep into every facet of our society. I mean, I'm a lawyer. I did a court every day. I see what they happen. If I tell you, say, politics don't creep into the justice system, politics don't creep into the educational system, politics don't creep into many other, I would lie by you. We get to be very honest with myself. Let we face reality. It's only when we face the reality we're able to confront the problems that with the reality come with. But if you're in a self-denial, you bear an answer like an ostrich, then you cannot solve the problems of the Sierra Leonean society.
So how will we solve this problem?
How we solve the problem?
Yeah.
One, it comes to the integrity of the persons. You know, I don't see beaucoup people there say, oh, not a president for appoint the judges them. Now, because now president they appointing judges, then I make we get injustices. I beg to differ. For me, it is just one of the few privileges where the president gets. When you're not president of a country, you forget that opportunity, that privilege they for appoint people there into offices. Who side will they get them wrong? One, now the vetting stages. Because you get what we call the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, where they create pursuant to Section 140 of the Constitution, where now then the vet list of candidates away for make judge, then also they advise the president, say this now fit and proper people for be judges. And also it comes to the individual integrity. We see recently in America, we're very close to the election. President Trump gets the opportunity for appoint 3 Supreme Court judges. He do everything in power for appoint them and ram them through into the Senate and into the Supreme Court because he believes they share in vision, in political ideology and all of that. When there was an election petition, where President Trump in party file na the American courts, na the Supreme Court, all 3 of them judges here, when he appoint, one of them was just 2 or 3 months before the election. They all rule against President Trump. So for me, it is the integrity of the individual that matters, not to the method or mode of appointing that individual into that position.
Okay, so Thomas Moore, with all them mishaps there, we don't see cases then don't delay, and files disappear in the courts. Fiti fata, okay? Then the judge per case ratio the country because school of thought would say we'll not get that enough judges then for address all of the cases them waiting at the court system. And some inmates them don't go now the law courts, but they don't ever see the courtroom. You know, with all the mishaps there, the missing link, like our lawyer would say.
Commissioner just don't make some statements on the missing link. I feel say one thing we need for actually be done is to empower the judiciary seriously with the necessary resources. The judiciary, in my own view, based on what me don't get from research around do, is seriously under-resourced. Under-resourced in terms of finances, and one of the most under-resourced judiciaries you can think about. A resource a challenge in terms of even the human resource. You get one judge, they sit on hundreds of cases. And you look at even the system under which they operate. It is seriously challenged. They still deep on this manual business. Whilst other countries, they don't go too far into actually digitizing the systems. Wherein, when, let's say, for instance, Commissioner, my colleague would map in making submission, they get something where they record them, where the judge will able use to move for able to follow whatever proceedings don't go through, and then able for reach in judgment. You go to court, the people they follow the court, and judge, when lawyer they talk, you will say, yes, please wait. You get for the right, please wait. How you go there and they say you don't deal with over how many cases when at the table for the day. So these are challenges. And we also need to see how they for really upgrade the condition of service of people who work within the judicial system, the judges, for be seriously paid, so that you have for erase the tendency of any corruption or anybody coming in to actually infiltrate into what they do. I feel that one, but again, of very importance. I mean, of very serious importance. I feel say we need to look at how do we actually incorporate them into the service. People who are doing at the different courts, the magistrates or judges. Are we looking for people that are party stalwart? People that will be where we say you can just tell and say this man just deny and bail. Don't grant this person bail, even when the person is very due for bail. Even when the public knows that this person is due for bail. We get currently a case of that honorable where they accused of some things there. Consistently, he is being denied bail. Kamaningba has spent over 1 year in prison. These are people who, in my own view, deserve for being given bail. But these are the challenges you face. There should be total independence in the real sense of the word. We need to have the politicians divesting themselves of the judicial process. Therefore, give the judges that they don't give power for able to operate without being dragged from the back. These are human beings, I must say. At times, we can go on for, say, the judges and these judges and that. But they are human beings. And when you have politicians who cannot actually make that fine balance, always inundating these people with cases, they will say they've been put the integrity of the judges and the entire judicial system into question. It's worrisome. And what make we as civil rights activists can be very concerned because this same judicial system has come under serious attack for cause serious mayhem in this country also. And the same things the way the Twitter Reconciliation Commission mentioned, when I make people go to the bush and cause havoc in this country, are the same things that we see they come out today. You see cases we're supposed for really get hearing, not they get hearing simply because they get some political element in them. You say people were supposed to get bail, not they get bail simply because of the incident say they should be punished, even when they have not been found wanting by the court. You see rights being denied. I get a lot of cases that I'm table where for people in the houses, the way they don't go pass judgment on them. Even people don't even know. In their absence, they pass judgment, then they go broke their houses. Even my own pastor, now my church is a victim of that. He just go all night. He turn back from all night. He can't meet people in park night. They don't pull in things. They're all out of the house. They don't pull the roof. They broke the house. When we go, they wait to ask for a Senate court judgment. The pastor was never invited for they started to make that kind of judgment. These are the cases. You get a lot of other cases, even just as recent as yesterday. People go to an office with that kind of case around Kisi area. So you continue to have the people who are supposed to protect the rights of people. We're supposed to assure Sierra Leoneans that they can be provided with justice. They can actually be rest assured. They can go to bed and sleep. And person not disadvantage party. And it go free. They continue for the flip-flop. So these are the challenges. We need to have, firstly, a very competent set of people being employed or being appointed into the different courts as judges or magistrates. And then they should be well catered for. Pay them very well. So that if they ever go into corruption, you get very sufficient grounds for holding. You don't provide them with pittance. And also ensure that you provide them with the kind of environment. Provide them with the necessary resources. Let the courtrooms then be upgraded. For God's sake, this is the 21st century. You know they still there in a court, judge the Sudan, the right wise lawyer, then 2-3 lawyers, and team up, they talk. Then after that, you have to go Sudan, for go write all until they compile all in note for make judgment. These are age-old issues for don't pass now. Other countries, they don't go digital. We see some improvement, I must say. We see now even the prisons, they don't get some system in place for digitize the records. Even at court, we see the Chief Justice, they put something in place for get courts case analysis or what have you. But the gap is so wide. The gap so wide. And a country where the justice system is not actually strong, or where people cannot be assured of justice, that country is a very fragile state. That country can run into chaos at any point in time. And that is the situation we have. That is the situation we have.
I see you have to add.
Yes, basically I want to agree with Thomas Morcont and say, well, probably in the past 5 years, we don't see some improvement in the judiciary. We get, like for example, the Edmund Cowan Constitutional Review, a document asked for the employment of more judges, more magistrates. We don't see that happen in the past 5 years. And we also don't see quite a few infrastructural changes that only take place. Now the court system, they don't decongest the main Shaka Stephen court, all the magistrate courts, they don't move Koyanda. We don't see magistrates that don't almost then all the district there, including also almost, I believe, say every district now gets a resident judge. But again, it is not the personnel that matters. It is not the infrastructure that matters. Okay. What matters is the justice system. It's just like a bleeding wound. If you get a bleeding wound, you know, stem the bleeding. As you put, you dress or you wrap them, it ooze out with blood. It soil the very bandage they use for wrap them up. I mean, it makes no sense for you to pass and treat. All you close, you dress fine though your body not well. Instead of you treat the illness where you get, you left and you treat. I mean, the injustice is there. It is there. Let us, well and good, we deal with the sanity of the court, the aesthetics of the court, and additional judges improving their salaries. But waiting matter to the ordinary man, not to the smell of the court, now the smell of the justice itself. Now it matters. So basically, we call on the consciences of all those that are sitting as judges, magistrates, or people already in a position of authority. We determine what they happen in the lives of others. Now for make decisions them way free. And this brings me to this very issue where they appeal directly to His Excellency the President Julius Maada Bio. Say, me na one person where I have served this country in the anti-corruption area. I have been a prosecutor, prosecuted, me na the first person where get conviction as a prosecutor now the whole of West Africa for unexplained wealth. I mean, I've done my own bit. So I involved in these commissions of inquiry, appeals there. we get people away, the commissions of inquiry say they find them wanting for unexplained wealth and all that thing. They don't seize the host them. And they recommend for seize the host, the white paper don't come and adopt their recommendation then they. But then people here don't appeal. All of them don't appeal. Well, almost the one they represent don't appeal. And a few weeks ago, we see there was a gazette where list the names of 5 or 6 persons they waited for take them, property them. I represent 3 of them. And of late, 2 days ago, we see they don't go put paper them. Now then people here, they post them, say, therefore, they give them 14 days for commodity and use. If not, government, they come and pull the commodity. But this is the question. Then people here don't appeal. And we don't begin seeing somebody like Diana Konomani. We need appeal because the Commission of Inquiry be recommended there for 6 years. He appeal, they hear he appeal, in win he appeal. Assuming say they be don't go pull an house, in family, then pull the all common house. Don't he can't win the appeal for make it just go back and say, okay, well, we saw that will be a victory. You can come back now use because you don't win your appeal. So I did talk to President Bio for using office, for tell the one the way responsible. So now wait first. Make the appeals process exhaust first. You know, interesting, one of me client them, in mama, about 77 or 78-year-old, he know well, he dey inside the house where they for go, where government for go take over. Would it do any harm to the state for which they hear that appeal there? No. I mean, probably if bailiffs they go for go pull am and they come on at the house. He just lost in Piki over a year ago. You go for go pull am there. Something heart attack go kill him. In terms, you know, when we are enforcing the law, we also have to have humanity in us. So I appeal to the humanity of President Bio for put a stay on their eviction here until the due process is complete. That is, the people they exhaust their appeals process. Okay,
so I want to turn the mic now to some of the people that will understand then text message now the show this evening. This first one to say, "Hi sir, I just want to say this. As someone who loves this country, I will pray for our leaders to continue the fight for them to have access to vote here in the UK. May God continue to give him the courage to stand for the right thing in Jesus' name." This message they come out from Michael, we say in the UK. This other one is said the 3 arms of government should not separate justice from peace, and they should not reform public institutions without the public consultation. They should also refrain itself from what is seen as combating nature. Vibrant institutions inspire other institutions to self-reflect. This is coming from Abdul Blah. This one, they say, John Bull, the legal, is abusing the rights of citizens in this country. She usually gave order to put, okay, I will take time for read some messages. This is say, I believe that NGC go liberate this country. I want you guys to be the voice of the voiceless, women suffering silently in offices. Okay, this other one way I will take, you say the slow case management and deliberate stifle of cases in the judiciary have been key undermining factors affecting the quality dispensation of justice in Sierra Leone. I say this CJA has to do more in ensuring speedy assignment and determination of cases in court. This one they come up from Usman Sura Kamara Esquire. You want to subscribe to this?
In terms of the, first of all, when it comes to the arrest and detention of persons, more so by the Sierra Leone police, I mean, it has been abused. You get Section 17 of the Constitution, we give the police the powers for arrests, or, you know, law enforcement authorities the power for arrest. But it also gives, say, well, for certain offenses, take, for example, you can arrest and detain somebody without bail or charge for 10 days if you get for do with an offense we carry the capital punishment we no longer exist, like murder, or you get for do with an environmental or financial crimes. Then any other offense again, you get maximum 72 hours fail in which you forgive it. If you not charge the person, you forget bail. I mean, take for example the Alfred Paulo Conte case, the Quetta case, and the Captain P case where Nami doing at the court martial. I get cause for file a writ of habeas corpus in a court, at the High Court of Sierra Leone, for force the investigating authorities, the police and the military, for bring them people here na court and show reasons why they for continue for detain them without bail and without charge. But thankfully, every time we file in a court, by the time we reach in a court, we force them for proper charges against them people here.
Okay, so let me bring you again. You don't spend a very long time. Let me bring you in again at the discussion. So, look at the situation now of the incident, the issue now, and Black Johnson.
Well, as of now, everything just go silence. But that just bring in mind to what happened in 2018. Maybe because we don't raise a lot of alarm, so they plan other things. But honestly, we decided for cry to people like Namati, Elgaj, Land for Life, because we don't get nobody to listen to we. And so then they will help we for talk to they'll help for make one or two moves. Yeah. But really, they don't talk anything to it. The only thing we understand, they say that they come, that now just for come make compensation to people there. Just for make compensation to people there. We don't know what's in this compensation. And we know they talk for compensation. We they talk for the appropriate place for do this fish arbor. Black Johnson actually not to the correct place. Okay. Not to the correct place at all. So, but we still want for listen, or with the big the actors that are concerned, let them just listen from we, because we neighboring communities them like from Toke, York, right down to Kent. They all know what will go for loss and what will go suffer. So we all come together. Once make them listen from we. If they listen from we, so we will do better suggestion. But people they not Tumbo. The Tumbo people they want this fish arbor. Okay. They want them because already now fishing gone. They want that. They want the fish arbor because if you put them in the correct place, they go serve the country well. But if you put them in the wrong place, then they go almost become white elephants. So we want to ask them, the actors that were involved, make them listen. If they allow we could talk to them, or we all come together, or put heads, they'll go find a better location for our fish arbor. Okay. The project is a fine project, but more not waste the money. 52 acres, no go do nothing with that money. 252 acres, it's too big. It's too big for make that fish arbor than Black Johnson. And that Black Johnson a touristic area. No way they could make fish arbor and that. At all. Okay,
so the Coroners, don't talk about the Coroners Act.
You know, the Coroners Act and an act where we get in this country, we're in a very, very old act. We're in a chapter 9 of the laws of Sierra Leone of 1960. We basically talk about waiting for the way certain death they take place in a certain circumstance on a certain places. And this brings me particularly to the April 29 massacre at Pademba Road. Innocent, unharmed inmates that we get massacred. In fact, up to this day, we don't know how many people they then killed, but officially, they say 30, but I will believe in at 30. The first day, the Minister of Information tells you, oh, now only 6 people they then kill. Then they go quiet. By the time it takes 2-3 months, they come out saying, 30 people they die. And we don't get any investigation because the investigation we then say they do not to themselves. When you want to carry out an independent investigation, that is not how you carry out. You choose the institution, you choose other people in our government, can't sit down and say, let we investigate. First of all, we get the Coroners Act, Chapter 9 of the Laws of Sierra Leone. Section 10 specifically will tell you, say, whenever somebody will be in the custody of the state, now a penitentiary, a prison, or somebody who mentally unwell within a mental home, die, there has to be an inquest. And we are demanding that we get an inquest into the Pademba Road massacre for no what happened, what go wrong, what cause the riot, who are responsible for the shooting, because we see the photo of a presidential guard with very senior citizens of this country. They say, now this man saved the day. I mean, I don't know whether na Pademba would the president lodge the, but presidential guard no get one business for Komosa, they deploy him. For guard the president, left the can of Pademba would for quell prisoners unrest. I mean, we get the police, we get the OSD, we get the prison officers. I believe they have adequate resources for and the good thing is this. We not see one prisoner come out of the perimeter first of Pademba would say escape. They not wound one outside of the perimeter fence, they not kill anybody. Nobody know the way breach the perimeter fence. So that they go a long way for tell you say it was not as bad as it was meant to look. Probably that picture has been painted because people want to justify the massacre that took place. And I believe that it is one thing you get, it is an unresolved issue. You get loved ones there who don't even know whether or not the people are now part of the victims then. We die na Pademba wood. The only way we loved ones they will get closure is when they know whether or not their relatives they're involved, and if so, how they come about for lost their life in that kind of gruesome manner there. So I believe, say, it is imperative on the government for, without delay, for bringing a coroner's inquest for law we know what happened at Pademba Road.
I see Thomas Wally.
Get a national debate and see how
Pademba Road is just one. There was an issue we did with Trigger for Route Mile 91 as well. Joint operation where we carried out by military and police officers, who then call themselves Toko. Then go Mile 91, one village then called Matimbo Village. On the 8th of September 2018. They say they get intel that the people that they plant jamban at the village or what have you. So they go investigate. On that fateful day, the investigation transformed into some kind of serious human rights violation, wherein a young man was killed, several others were brutalized, wounded. People are allegedly they loot them properties in the place. That's an issue we investigated. And then we made complaint to the Independent Police Complaint Board, IPC, which is an institution established to look into these issues. And that institution will come as a result of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission recommendation again. The IPCB don't issue out the reports. They don't investigate the matter extensively. They don't issue out reports blaming the security forces who go to that place. They will kill the young man and cause havoc at the place. And part of the recommendation are that then for discipline all the police officers that were going to the place, because the mission was intelligence led. They not just grab them go so, but they already don't get clear understanding as to what they go for. Even as we speak today, the people continue to live with the tragedy of the loss of their loved one. They continue to live with the tragedy of that bad experience we didn't get on that day. A lot of people were wounded, some were maimed in the process. So these are issues where we continue to talk about, and these are issues where they continue for fester in the society, especially when people win as state security personnel. They involve in issues we have to do with the lives of people and they take them away. And then you see nothing coming out of it. And that is why a lot of people were very concerned, even with the amendment of this law, this death penalty. And we continue to have people who are supposed to protect the lives of people. They take them extrajudicially, kill people without any what they call. And then at the end of the day, the state not get a duty. The state not they produce, not they present themselves as prepared to actually investigate the matter and bring people to book for their actions there. So that's not a textbook example of injustice. These are human beings that are being killed. These are human beings that lost their lives. Not to just animals, they all fall, they lost their lives.
It's interesting for see the government doing all it can for put a moratorium on the lawful execution of persons in this country, but we not see any move towards for address the issue of unlawful executions. You know, it is interesting for see even with constitution acknowledge and accept and sanction the killing of people and by security forces if they quell a revolt, if they quell a mutiny, if they quell a riot. So basically, police get right for go and shoot anybody and kill away the riot, because the Constitution say that now one of the exceptions. Or somebody where they escape from unlawful detention. Take for example, say a prisoner in a detention at police station, they want for escape for run away, according to section 16, subsection 2. Now one of the circumstances the way the law necessarily recognize say you can take somebody in life. I believe say these are the sections. Make them take out them particular sections here. Let them not give a catch blanc kind of check to the police for kill people there just because sometimes they in detention they try for run away, or sometimes there is a riot, then go and try for quell down a riot, they get the right for kill people there. Let them take them out. They let be say now every killing now for be looked at on the basis of waiting happened there for determine whether it was lawful or not.
Okay. So the National Gun Coalition may do a press release dated on the 16th of July 2021 where they address to the Secretary to the President, Office of the President, State House, State Avenue, Tower in Freetown. Well, I will just take an extract from him because we not get enough time. Time not a bit we at the show. We say there's appointment as Electoral Commissioner Western Region. I am in receipt of your letter dated 6th July 2021 on the subject referenced above, in which you informed me that His Excellency the President has appointed Mrs. Zainab Mosiye as an Electoral Commissioner Western Region, and also in which you asked me to bring this information to the attention of my chairman and leader. Okay, the letter go on for say the members of the Electoral Commission shall be appointed by the President after consultation with the leaders of all registered political parties and subject to the approval of Parliament. He said also the NGC considers that the framers of a constitution had very good reasons for instructing that all political parties must be consulted before an electoral commissioner is appointed by the President. The Electoral Commission plays a pivotal role in the survival of our democracy, and those who should ascend to the high office of commissioner must be subject to the scrutiny of political parties, which are principal protagonists in the electoral process. Well, the last part say we therefore find ourselves in the embarrassing situation of having to demand that government follows a simple procedure that is clearly spelled out in the constitution of the country, i.e. consult all political parties before appointing a commissioner. Thank you for your attention. This press release, yours faithfully, Dupare Sila, for the National Secretary General of the NGC. So, this letter they say government, that they demand government for file simple procedures with all the issues them where they happen. What did the law say with regards to this?
Section 32, Section 32(2) of the 1991 Constitution very clear. Say you for appoint certain officers in the National Electoral Commission through consultation with other political parties. And consultation does not only mean I tell you, say, now this person I they appoint to, then I turn me back. No. Consultation means when you tell this person, say, when you tell this person, say, when you inform the political parties, they say, now this person you want for appoint as a member of the Electoral Commission, which you expect the opposition parties for do, now for give you feedback on you proposed appointment. Probably they know something, but we you don't know. We make not a suitable person for appointing to the kind of positions we want for appointer. So I am very much in tune with the letter where you just read, and I believe say consultation not necessarily mean information after an appointment, because what here appear for happen now is that they don't appoint done, then they inform the political party, they say now we don't appoint to. I mean, that is not consultation. Consultation are where people they sit down together, discuss and get consensus on issues.
So as time done the try for between the show this evening, make I take some messages na the Facebook page where this one is say if he doesn't I agree with lawyer Adi on referendum. Should any alter to the national constitution? That need to come out from Rico Ja. And also another one way I would take to say I agree with Adi Macaulay that the judges of Sierra listening to power from above that's working for the country. That will come out from Sembu Kamara. Another one is to say we need to use every measure necessary in finding an alternative area which will be ideal for a fishing-based Black Johnson. This other one they say when you send message not attack anybody in personality. What is the difference between the life in jail and a time in jail for about 50 years? Van de Bory within Kenema na send a message there. You have to answer quick before we say what is the difference between the life in jail and a time in jail for about 50 years?
It's a distinction without a difference. Basically, mean the same.
Okay, so this other one is say from Adama Denke, they say good talks by the progressive Sierra Leoneans because we don't want the senseless war to repeat itself. This one they say Thomas Small, please keep it up. You are doing a good job for Mama Salon. God bless you. That is coming from Abubakar Sidiyanke Kanu. The judiciary is responsible for I think that missing. Okay, so make I go to my inbox before I wrap up the show this morning, this evening, sorry. Make I just try for wrap up the show now. Make I take you, Mr. Mama. What thing you want to left with you before we go?
Well, really, I want to say with the people in Black Johnson, the landowners them, the NGC them, then with neighboring communities them, like from Toke, come right down to Kent, who want for big the actors then, like the Minister of Lands, Fisheries, Tourism, the EPA, make them call we or make them listen to we. Or if they know for listen to we get people like Ilraj, Namatin, Land for Life, they can talk to them and they will get to voice. Make them listen to ourselves. Ourselves na Sierra Leoneans them.
Okay.
Yeah?
So Thomas Moore.
Yeah, I want to say justice na the bedrock of a peaceful and cohesive society. We also will bring prosperity we all want as a nation. So let we all ensure that we do things that we will bring justice, so that we will get peace and a peaceful and a prosperous nation.
Okay, so Mr. Adi Macaulay.
Peace is the byproduct of justice, and for that we get peace in our society, we get for afford everybody the right to a fair and just treatment. So if you're in a position of authority, members say you did it today, tomorrow you get for commodity. Okay. And the way you treat people today, and that justification they go use for treat yourself tomorrow.
Okay, so I want to tell you thank you. We want to make time for joining me at the show this evening. Okay, so before I go, make I just read one or two messages from my inbox. This one is, hey, thank you very much for this discussion. I pray that your voices will be heard by the appropriate authority in order to avert further rebel incursion in our beloved nation. This one comes out from a concerned citizen. This one is say it is not justice for someone who has been convicted by the COI like Diana Kunmani at the same time given the right by the government to appeal, and she appealed and then won the appeal case. Well, now so today NGC hour go left you. Thank you to who that done they make sure that this